Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a classic deduction game called Whodunnit. Whodunnit is a game from Seklo and Ryder. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. It originally came out in the 70s, but the copy that I'm going to be showing here is from 1985. Plays 2 to 6 players, and what you're trying to do here is you're trying to figure out who murdered Lord Edward Peter Percival Pembroke. That's a lot of alliteration. And you're doing that by moving around this mansion or estate to try to figure out different motives, weapons, scenes, and ultimately the suspect. So it's a roll and move game, a la Clue. It's kind of similar to Clue, but the deduction is a little more straightforward, I think, in this one. So that's enough talking about it. Let's go down to the table. Let's see what I mean. All right, so here's a game of Whodunnit, all set up for 3 players. To set up, you're going to put the board out in the middle of the table, like I've done. You're going to put each of the pile of cards on the appropriate spaces. They don't need to be shuffled. They're just going to be references at the end of the game. So like at the end of the game, if I think it's Butler Carruthers, I'll just reveal it and show you who I think it is. You'll shuffle the Whodunnit cards and put them on the appropriate Whodunnit card space. Every player will take a pawn, put it in the main entrance, and in a 3-player game, everyone will get a detective, 2 different alibis, and we'll stack up 2 remaining alibis from one color, which I've done here for brown at the main entrance to be able to snag later. And then we'll have the dice ready to go. And each player is also going to get a Whodunnit detective sheet, which will look like this. This is going to have the suspect, weapon, scene, and motive, and we're trying to figure out which 3 traits for each of these things are on these board, so we can figure out the suspect, the weapon, the scene, and the motive of the crime. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be playing as Inspector Trousseau. So the first thing I would do is, on my sheet, I'm going to look at the weapons, because weapons are blue, and I'm going to put Clue on my alibi for shiny, and I'm a T. So I'll go to alibi, shiny. Oh, that's suspect. That's why I couldn't find it. Shiny is here, so there's a T, alibi. So I know that's not a weapon. I know that's not the weapon. Shiny. 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 All right, and I also have the suspect is thin. So I'll do T, 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 T. So I've narrowed it down to this, to Salisbury, Nathaniel Kent, Lucifer Miles, and Swinford. All right. So that's what I've done there. So I know a little bit of information. They're going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to play as Trousseau so you can kind of see what's going on. So on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to roll the dice. So we'll roll the dice. Then you can move 1, you can move 6, or you can move 7. So in this case, red will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They'll move 6. They'll go this way, and they'll get a Whodunnit card. So take a card means take a Whodunnit card. And I get to go to the clue of my choice. So I'd like to find out more about the suspects. So let's go to clue C. When you go to the clue, you're going to reveal it. They wouldn't see it. The other players wouldn't see it. But I know the suspect is now dark. And that was clue C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to the suspects. Dark, I'm going to put clues. I'm going to put C. So wherever there's a dark, I will put a C in clues. And that's going to start painting a picture of which one of these is the actual criminal. If you can get all the clues filled out, or you get every section filled out with at least one alibi except for one, you know which the answer is. So that was red's turn. Then we're going to go to yellow, which is Sergeant Sly. They got a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They'll do that. They're going to start heading over here. All right. Then green. 2 3s or a 6. They'll go this way and take a card. Pursue alibis. All right. So what happens here when you pursue alibis? You are going to ask another player a series of questions to get two different pieces of information. So, for example, I would say, let me look at the rule book so I don't jack it up. For example, he may say, Detective Wong, perhaps the suspect was tall or the weapon was sharp. Can you show me an alibi? So you ask two different things that you want to know about. So let's say, whatever his name is, Fumble, is going to ask me, is the suspect thin and the scene indoors? So if I have any of those, I have to show them one. So if I didn't have any, I wouldn't have to show them any. But if I have any, I show them one. If I have multiples, I pick one, kind of like Clue. So I would say, yes, here's one for you. They would mark that down on their paper, and we would go on with life. So it's back to red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll just go 7. Back to yellow. They have a 2 or a 3. 1, 2, 3. They'll go 3. Take a card. Go to parlor entrance. Parlor. So they're going to come over here. They're going to start investigating the suspect. Green. 6 or a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to go to the 5. Take a card. Go to library entrance. Oh, that's where. Okay, back to red. 2 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, back to yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're going to start going to the conservatory. Green. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go this way. Red. I got a 1. All right. So I'm at clue A. Clue A is tall. So now I know the suspect is tall. So on my sheet, I know it's hard for you guys to see this. I apologize. For tall, and this is clue A, I would write an A next to clues for tall. So A, 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 A. All right, so I think I've actually narrowed it down to Nathaniel Kent or Colonel Salisbury, because I have 2 positive clues and no alibis for those, so that's a good sign. And that's how the game's going to play. You're going to keep going like that until someone thinks they have a guess. So when you think you have a guess, what you're going to do is you would say, I think it's Colonel Salisbury, the vase, the weapon is the vase, the scene is the garage, and the motive is is power. So you go and you would flip over all of these tokens. Well, you would say who you think it is, and if everyone else agrees, then you win. To verify, you'll flip over all the tokens, because each of these suspects only have a different combination of 3 tokens. So this is tall, dark, neat. Tall, dark, neat is Nathaniel Kent. So see, I was on an honest trail. So I would, if I was picking this, I would have said Nathaniel Kent. Just put it face up here, and then you can always verify by flipping the tokens. You can do that to all 4, and if people feel you have the answer, you win. If not, they can challenge you and all that kind of thing. But that is effectively how you play Whodunit. Let's go to the top, see what they think about it. All right, well, that was Whodunit. So yeah, this is a pretty simple deduction game where you're moving around in these different rooms trying to figure out the 3 traits so you can narrow down the suspect, the weapon, the motive, and the scene. It's pretty easy. And you're going to know if you get all the columns except for one, they all have alibis. You're going to know what the specific thing is because there's no alibis in that column. So that's the one. If you get all the clues found out, you're going to know for 100% certainty that that is the item. So it's pretty easy. The deduction is easy. The Whodunit deck is pretty interesting too. So it's going to move you to different entrances. One thing I didn't show you is at the beginning of the game, you stack up some tokens on the main entrance. So when you go to the main entrance, you can take one of those tokens as a new alibi for you, and no one else can see it unless they do the alibi, whatever it's called, pursue alibis card. There's also Loser Turns. I don't love that, but it is a game from the 70s, and they did kind of dig that. So yeah, this deck is cool. Just adds a little bit of randomness to the game. Another thing that I really like is when you're rolling the dice, you can use either one of the values or the combined total, which I think is incredible. So you have sometimes three different options of numbers that you can do, spaces that you can move to try to get where you want to get to, as opposed to, oh, I rolled 7, I got to roll 7. I got to move 7. Or I rolled 12, I got to move 12. Now I can move 6 if I want to, which I dig that. Yeah, this game, I'm not going to go over the production and the components. It's a game from the 80s, so you saw what it is. It's really bad cards. But again, old games are about fun and just having a good time with other people that you're playing with, not really about what the game looks like. So I'm not going to go into that, but this is solid. It's a fun little game. I like it better than Clue, in my opinion, just because I think the deduction is a little more straightforward. And man, I might be dumb. I don't understand Clue sometimes. I struggle with it, but this one makes sense, and I feel like I have a chance to win. So I like this a little better than Clue. So yeah, it's a good game. If you're looking for a deduction game that is enjoyable, plays pretty quickly because it's not going to outstay its welcome, then this is one you should check out. So I'm going to give this a BGM accepted seal. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 on BGG, which is a 3.5 out of 5 wrenches on an arbitrary wrench scale that means absolutely nothing. But we like to give it the games that we enjoy, and that's what I'm going to do. So that is Whodunnit from Seklo and Ryder. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.